The devil might be the scariest monster used in horror films to frighten viewers, especially when he appears as a person. In movies, we've seen more than our fair share of demons who pass for people. Therefore, in today's video, we'll share with you a list of 10 tales in which the devil dresses as a person. So make sure you keep watching today's video to find out more. Starting today's list, we have the 1995 fantasy thriller film, The Prophecy. The devil wasn't even the main antagonist of the story till the prophecy introduced him. In this film, Christopher Walken played the Archangel Gabriel, who assumes control of a man's body after his suicide. He uses this body to start a fresh conflict in heaven that he intends to win, transforming it into its own version of hell with the assistance of Earth. The movie featured a young Viggo Mortensen as Lucifer, who unexpectedly evolved into a hero. Despite winning the day in the end, Mortensen gave a terrifying performance, giving the devil a terrible level of hatred for people and God, but also one that cared deeply about the existing quo. Moving on to the next one, we have the 1997 mystery thriller, The Devil's Advocate. The devil doesn't always make an appearance in horror films. The devil appears as the greatest temptation in the Keanu Reeves film, The Devil's Advocate. The devil is portrayed by Al Pacino as John Milton, a human attorney. Reeves portrays a successful lawyer who works for Milton and gets promoted. In his performance, Pacino portrayed the devil as the master seducer. He consistently makes the proper statements and seems to be able to persuade others that he is acting in their best interest. In the world of corporate law, Pacino is the devil who surrounds everyone and subverts the rules so that the powerful always prevail. Critics gave The Devil's Advocate mixed reviews, but they did praise Pacino's performance and the film's entertainment appeal. The film received the Saturn Award for Best Horror Film and brought in over $153 million at the box office. On to the next one. We have the 2005 horror fantasy Constantine. The devil has appeared in various comic book incarnations. The Lucifer from the TV program was the same Lucifer from the Sandman series, and he also appeared in the Constantine comics, something many fans might not be aware of. Peter Stormare played the devil in the Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves. As the devil, Stormare had a terrifying performance. He was smarmy and haughty, and he was truly nasty. He was scarier than most because of his rage when he realized Constantine had fooled him. The movie, which had a production expenditure of between $70 to $100 million, was released in theaters in the United States on February 18, 2005, and it made $230.9 million worldwide. Film critics, however, had a divided reaction to it. Reeves will return in the upcoming sequel as the superhuman exorcist and demonologist John Constantine, who in the first film is on his deathbed, but stays to prevent demons from hell from invading the earth to save his soul. Moving on to another devil personified film, we have the 2009 fantasy adventure, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which Terry Gilliam directed and was released in 2009, turned out to be a misapplied and underappreciated fantasy film. The story revolved around a traveling theater troupe that entered into a bet with the devil and gave their audience the choice between ignorance and enlightenment as they passed through a magical mirror. Tom Waits performed the role of Dr. Nick, the devil in human form. Waits did a fantastic job portraying what the devil would actually be like by turning up to mock Dr. Parnassus whenever he makes a mistake, acting rudely and gobbling up every scene in which he appears. This was also Heath Ledger's final project before his untimely passing caused a temporary halt in production. The actor played the lead part for the majority of the film until Depp, Law, and Farrell were cast to play several versions of him as he ventured through a dream world. This final performance for a motion picture was dedicated to Ledger and co-producer William Vince. Up next, we we have the 1981 British fantasy adventure film Time Bandits. In Terry Gilliam's fantasy film Time Bandits, a young kid travels across time with a gang of thieves who target different periods of history on a sci-fi adventure. The cast is excellent, and David Warner plays evil in the movie. Warner portrays the devil in Time Bandits, a character that uses technology to manipulate people. He also stood out from the other actors, since, unlike them, he appeared to be in a Shakespearean play, making him the ideal choice for the role of Satan. The movie opened at the top of the weekend box office in the US and Canada, and garnered mostly favorable reviews from reviewers upon its initial release. By the conclusion of its run, the movie had made $36 million, even though it only had a budget of $5 million. Also in today's list, we have the 1941 fantasy film, The Devil and Daniel Webster. Since the silent era, when he used the well-known tale of Faust to lure the best of men, the devil has made numerous appearances in motion pictures. The theater drama, The Devil and Daniel Webster, which had the same subject matter, was based on a short novella. The devil accepted a man's soul in exchange for 7 years of luck and wealth. Walter Houston played the devil in the film as Mr. Scratch, a hustler and quick talker who was out to sell his ideals and succeed by all means. The libretto that Benet wrote in 1937 for an operatic rendition of his short tale with composer Douglas Moore served as the foundation for his play. Moving on, we have the 1987 neo-noir psychological horror film Angel Heart. Angel Heart, a psychological horror movie from 1987, stars Mickey Rourke. In the film, Rourke plays Angel, a private detective hired to track down Johnny Favorite, a missing singer. Louis Cypher, whose name sounds like Lucifer when spoken quickly, is the person who hires him, and that's exactly who it is. In this film, Robert De Niro portrays the devil with a chilling amount of composure. He keeps his fingernails neatly clipped and wears a well-groomed beard. But De Niro's cool, subtle demeanor, where he always maintains a pleasant demeanor while always dripping with a menacing tone, is what makes him the ideal devil. Reviews of Angel Heart were mixed, with some praising Rourke and Bonet's acting, and the production design, music, and cinematography, while criticizing Parker's screenplay. And of course, we can't miss out on the 1988 religious drama, The Last Temptation of Christ. Churches throughout the world protested the release of Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ. The movie's issues sprang from the temptations that Jesus Christ endured before his crucifixion. What was still debatable were the temptations the devil presented to him. Even more striking was how the devil was portrayed in this film, not as a menacing figure, but rather as a young girl named Juliet Catton. She provided the devil a veneer of innocence that made Jesus vulnerable to temptation at inopportune moments. More discerning than anything in the film was the devil, which took the form of an innocent child. When the movie first came out, Christian religious organizations objected to it because it deviated from the gospel narratives, much like the novel it was based on. Critics and various religious authorities gave it favorable reviews, and Scorsese was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Director. Then, we have the 1987 dark fantasy comedy film The Witches of Eastwick. Jack Nicholson is possibly the most ideal fit for the role of the devil. The Witches of Eastwick, starring Nicholson as Daryl Van Horn, and Cher, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Susan Sarandon as the three witches, depicted this event. With his wicked grin and arched eyebrows, Nicholson was made to play the devil, devil. His persona always conceals something naughty. The most diabolical character of his career, Nicholson portrays the part throughout the film with complete malice, while demonstrating his tenacity and will. And finally, last but not least, we have the 1999 supernatural action horror film, The End of Days. The devil would eventually appear in an action movie. It was only a matter of time. In the 1999 film End of Days, Arnold Schwarzenegger confronted his most challenging antagonist. In the movie, Schwarzenegger as an NYPD officer caught up in a conflict between good and evil as the devil plots to have an unwitting lady conceive the Antichrist and unleash the apocalypse. As the devil, Gabriel Byrne was endearing and considerate, offering to return Detective Kane's wife and child and giving one of the best monologues in all of cinema, claiming that although God makes people feel guilty, the devil doesn't do guilt. Of course, Kane is unwilling to accompany him, and later in the film, Byrne unleashes the danger. In an otherwise formulaic action film, it was a monster performance. The devil has appeared in numerous movies over the years, and these include classic horror films in which the devil is the antagonist, as well as those in which the devil himself gets migraines from certain monsters. There is nothing creepier than when the devil appears in a human costume in some action flicks, and even in some tragedies, drenched in seduction, such as the films we listed, which wraps up today's video. Which of the aforementioned films do you think has the best portrayal of the devil? Let us know in the comment section below. Before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these. See you next time, and thanks for watching.